It is your buddy, Peace and Harmony with you here today. Much love going out to all the beautiful, empowered harmonizers. And we're zooming in and focusing in today on a great viewer question. And that is really to understand the dynamics of someone who has a personality disorder, someone who is sort of putting a facade to the world and has a whole different ego, a whole different decision-making process going on underneath the surface. So there's this real disconnect. And how do you really move on successfully? But before we get started, I just want to give a huge shout out to those of you who have recently donated to the channel. Whoop whoop, we have Canada in the house. Thank you so much, my viewers in Canada. Oh, Canada. Beautiful, gorgeous wilderness you have there. I have been to Quebec. I have been to Montreal, and it was a beautiful city, very beautiful and clean, and all sorts of things you can do in the downtown. So thank you so much for reaching out, and I appreciate your contributions. And also, whoop whoop, we have Michigan and Wisconsin in the house. Thank you so much for your constant and unwavering support and the strides that you have made, not only to help keep the channel alive, but also in your own recovery and having what I call a very strong AQ, or application quotient. When we talk about a lot of the tools that we discuss here, the recovery journal, the recovery date, your emotements, really sort of getting serious with yourself. I think we have several viewers who have really made huge strides because they have taken themselves seriously and started taking these other wounding people a little bit lighter in their life. So thank you so much for your recent donations. And so we're going to get in a little bit more in depth in terms of understanding what it means for someone who has a personality disorder. What does it mean that they are sort of have an outer persona, an outer ego that needs to be supported a lot? They have an incessant need for approval, validation, attention, and not just like a usual relationship where, there's give and take, there's a give and flow, and there's respect of boundaries. This individual will violate others' boundaries, and they will seek the support of others sort of at their own expense in order to get what they need. And it's often fueled by a sense of insecurity, inferiority, and a need to feel above or superior to others. And so it is often, the people who are closest who get to see the crack in the facade, who see the crack in the ego, who kind of know how they really are. They're the people who are closest to them. And there's really sort of a trauma bond, not a real bond. So I want you to understand a little bit of the difference that you will feel when you're in a relationship or in a proximity or in affiliation with someone who has a personality disorder versus a healthy individual. And it's really sort of a sense of connection or bondedness. We talk about in psychology the bond with others. In other words, the oxytocin, the feeling of being connected. So you might describe this by people who are lovers of sorts, so there's a sense of being bonded or connected with this person. You can, be spiritually naked with them, emotionally naked. You can reveal your deepest desires or your deepest fears. You often feel a sense of safety, security, and connection. And sorry about that, the video just fell over. Bear with me one moment. We are out here in nature. We are out here in this beautiful private little lake here. It is absolutely gorgeous. A little bit of breeze now coming up on my back, which feels wonderful. And I apologize, I am sweating out here. It is a hot one. We've had a fair amount of rain, and there my necklace just came off. We've had a fair amount of rain, and it has really made things quite humid, moist, but really good for the ecology. So bear with me one moment while I redo myself. As you see, we have no shame here on the Peace and Harmony channel. we are all out. We are human, we are the real. We're not, you know, just perfectly manicured around the, you know, around the edges here. Really cute little flower here. I'm not sure if this is like a wild clover, but just really admiring all the natural beauty that the spring really brings. And so anyway, as we were saying, there's an incessant sort of need for attention for these people, and you can feel, you know, people who are around them, they tend to cater to these individuals. In other words, but there's a tinge of emotional pain while you are in a relationship. And so, you know, it is when you talk about the heaviness of heart, which comes with sort of trying to understand that there's a disconnect, it becomes an issue that you really more so need to take up with yourself than taking up with the other person. When it comes to really sort of moving through and understanding it, it is to understand what you need to work through yourself and not what you need to work through or assist this other person with. Because they are going to be, you know, they're going to continue on in this manner. They're going to have this incessant need for admiration, for attention, even if it's negative. And so if